Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel today. This is Amen Clothing YouTube channel where we teach you how to use pattern draftings to create unlimited designs in tailoring. Okay, if you want to learn how to use patterns to create unlimited designs of outfits, whether it's couture or it's whatever, just stick to this channel. We're going to be teaching you how to use pattern drafting to create unlimited designs. Okay, just like the one you're seeing on the screen right now. This is a blazer, this is a draped blazer dress. Okay, and this is what it looks like. The one on the thumbnail was where I got the inspiration from, so I recreated it to have this very particular red one. So if that's what you want to watch, keep watching to the end. Subscribe to this channel as we go straight to the pattern drafting video. Okay, so you'll be needing your basic bodice in full, like from your very shoulder to where you want your dress to stop, which is your hem. Okay, from your shoulder to your hem, that is what you'll be needing. Also, I've imputed my side bust dart and my waist dart, which are just the two basic darts that you'll be needing for a start in this very pattern. I think my table is actually small, so my paper is not, you guys cannot just see everything in full, but I'll try to concentrate on the very particular area that I'll be talking about as we go on. Okay, whenever I want to talk about a particular area, I'll try to move my camera to that place so you guys will see it clearly. And trust me, you understand everything. So I'll be folding my center into two, like so. Like I'm trying to get the center of my dress. I'll fold it like the half, the normal way we do when we draft pattern. I'll fold it to have, just to get the half part of my pattern. So having done that now, I'm going to be marking out my very basic neckline. That is the V neckline first. That is what I'm going to be doing now. So I went in by 1 inch from my basic neckline. Okay, I went in at the shoulder, 1 inch from my basic neckline. And I want to check how deep I want the V neckline to be. So I'm trying to determine. So from the very basic neckline that I already drafted, I'm trying to check where I'll be using for my V neckline. I don't want to go so deep. Okay. So I've marked this very actual place. This is optional. You can use whatever you feel is good for you. Okay. That's why I didn't mention how many inches it is. You can use whatever you feel is good for you. Whichever point you want your V neckline to stop, that's what you're going to be using. So having done that now, I'll use the scissors to cut out this very part like so. And I'll go ahead to open it up. Okay, so I've opened it up, and as you can see, we have our V neckline. So the next thing I'm going to do now, as you can see, I labeled left and right. I want to make sure that that lapel, that kind of blazer effect, falls at the right hand side. So I labeled left and right so I do not get confused. I want it to fall at the right hand side. Okay, so what we are going to be doing now is to impute our blazer whatever. Okay, that blazer effect. And I'm trying to see if it can stop at this very part of the dart. But then I also want it to go in line with my V neckline. Okay, let it be in accordance with my V neckline. If I want it to stop there, this is what it's going to look like. And I don't, it's not going to look good. So I'm going to be extending it so it's in line with my V neckline. Okay, so I'm going to have to draw in my line. And this is what it looks like. As you can see, it's looking more better now than shifting it or drifting it away from the V neckline. Okay, so that's the point where it is. So I haven't done that. We'll go ahead to impute the style, the V neckline in full. Please don't mind my tape. It's like I'll be using a transparent cello tape to hold it together. So I'm going ahead to impute my proper blazer effect. Okay, that proper blazer, whatever, I'm going ahead to impute it. The measurements here are also optional. If you want yours to be bigger, it's quite okay. If you want yours to be smaller, it's quite okay. Okay, just follow the techniques of drafting the pattern. So I'm going ahead now to draw this in like so. So I'm going ahead to draw it in now like so. And yeah, this is what we are having. Okay, this is exactly what we are having. So I'll go ahead to flip this the pattern like so. Like I'll go ahead to turn the pattern around so that I think you guys will understand better what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to turn my pattern around so you guys will understand better what I am doing. So I'm going to turn it around. And after doing this, the next thing we're going to do now is to input our style lines for the drapes. We're going to be inputting our style lines for the drapes. Also, the style line for the drapes is not, there's no standard way, there's no standard measurement. The only standard thing there is this very line that went from the very bust point where you have the dart of the side bust and the waist dart. That's just the only line that is a standard. The rest you can decide to put it wherever you want. Okay, I hope you guys understand that. So I'm going to have to draw in my style lines like so. And I'm trying to make sure that the distance between each style line from the waist is the same. I think this is also optional, but it's best if you do it that way so you have a uniform spread, okay? I think it's best you do it that way so you have a uniform spread. And having done that, this is what it looks like, okay? And as you can see, I have my waistline. I drew a line to differentiate my waistline. So because I want the style lines that are at the upper bodies to be in line with the ones at the lower bodies, that is why I did not separate this pattern like upper bodies and lower bodies. As you can see, I'm trying to make sure that the style lines are the same, okay? Like the drapes are the same from the upper bodies on the waistline to the lower bodies. I want to make sure that they are the same. That is why I did not go ahead to um, separate the various pattern initially. So I haven't done this now since I've gotten what I wanted and they are in line as you can see. So I think I can go ahead now and separate them. So I'm going ahead now to separate it like so. Like I said, the style lines are optional. You can decide to use more. I've told you the one that is just the standard, which is that very line that is starting from the bust points and the side bust that at that very point. So every other line is optional. So let's concentrate on this first before we work on the lower bodies. So I haven't done this now. I think the next thing we're going to be doing is to slash and spread our patterns. Okay, first before we slash and spread, we'll go ahead to open up our darts, especially at the right side. Please, we are doing this at the right side. That's where we have the drapes. The other part, there's no drape. Okay, so we're going ahead to open up our darts, please. And before I opened up the dart, I traced out the whole of the left side, which I'm also going to be showing you here, so you don't get confused, okay? I traced out the whole of the left because there is no drape at the left. We are just going to be sewing up our darts, okay? So having opened up my side bust dart and my waist dart, I'm going to be using my tape to hold them together while opening it at this style line that I told you is the standard. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do want to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment in the comment section. Okay, thank you. So I've gone ahead now to tape this down and also tape my side bust, my waist dart down. And of course, we've opened it here. That is the first drape. So for the next drape, we'll go ahead to use our scissors to, cut out on the lines that we drew to create more fullness, to add more fullness, okay? I think draping is just adding fullness. So to add more fullness, adding fullness in the right proportion, at the right places to give a nice fit. I think I defined it well. So the lines broke by the time I closed that. The lines broke. I'm trying to redraw it so everything is in line. This is also optional, okay? I'm just trying to redraw it so you guys don't get confused here. I'm trying to redraw it. Okay, so here we go. As you're cutting out or as you're cutting on your style lines, be sure there is no pattern that is missing. As you can see, this very part almost went off. I had to use my tape to hold it down. Be sure there is no pattern missing so that you get the exact results that you want. Be sure there is no pattern that is missing, okay? So I'm going ahead now to tape down properly. Every place I'm going to be cutting with a scissors, I'm holding it down with a tape so that it doesn't rip off. So I'm going ahead now to, cut to add fullness, okay? This very design is very, how do I put it, is it requires more thinking. It requires more, it's technical, okay? So you have to put in your whole concentration as you're watching. And when you're making your own, you have to concentrate well, okay? So you know, like give it your full focus. Okay, so you give it your full focus. So I'm trying to cut it out, open up the line so I can have more fullness. Okay, and here it is, like so. Okay, so I'm trying to open up this very particular dart here. So I was about opening up my dart for the left side, and I remembered that no, I needed to get this pattern traced out first. So I had to tape it down so I can trace my left side because I'll be needing this dart in the left pattern. I'm just going to be sewing it up, okay? I have to trace it out first. Okay, I hope you understand. So I'll just show you right now. So I went ahead to trace it out. I've traced out the left part, and this is what it looks like. Okay, you're going to be tracing it even before the drapes. So you get the exact everything about it. Okay, I advise you trace it out even before the drapes. Okay, so it's simpler for you. So this is what my left side, and this is the actual left pattern that we are using for the dress. This is your left pattern. Okay, this is your left pattern for this very particular dress. So now I can go ahead and open up my darts. So I haven't opened up my dart. I'll be setting this aside now because this is our left pattern. So I'll be setting it aside. I'm labeling left on it. So I'll go ahead and set it aside, okay? And let's get back to the right pattern. So going back to the right pattern now, I'll go ahead to trace out that blazer effect. That lapel, sorry, I don't know why I'm saying blazer. That lapel design, I've gone ahead to trace it out, and this is what it looks like, okay? Now, if you look closely, you find out that a dart fell into, the waist dart fell into that lapel design, okay? And because we will close the dart at the left side, if you don't close it at the lapel will fly. That part will be flying, like it will show that there is something that needs to be taken away. So we're also going to be removing the dart from the lapel design, okay? We're also going to be removing the dart from the lapel design. Please, I'm sorry about that noise. Okay, so I'm going ahead to remove the dart from the lapel. Okay, I'm going ahead to take the dart off from the lapel, and I'll be taping it down with my tape. Okay. So I'm going ahead now to use my tape to hold it down like so. And of course, this is the actual thing. After I've held it down, this is what it looks like. So I'm going ahead now to close up this dart, kind of finish up that area. Okay. So when I remove this, we are going to be having, I'm discarding that. This is our right pattern, sorry, but we're not done with it yet because we need to take that dart off. I hope what I'm saying is not confusing. If there's anything you don't understand, drop a comment in the comment section and I'll put you through ASAP. If there's anything you don't understand, drop a comment. But I'm sure that if you're watching this video with focus, you're going to understand everything I'm talking about. Pattern drafting can be tricky, but trust me, once you get the technique, which I'm trying to explain here as simple as possible, you will get everything right. If you watch closely, you find out that there is a very top part, okay, that looks like there is space there. Very simple. You have to true it. Add a fresh pattern paper and use your ruler to true it, okay? Whatever you're adding anything, make sure that your waistline is the same. You can add anything at the other part which is not your waistline, but make sure your waistline is the same so it does not affect your lower bodies, okay? So when you put it this way and you flip it over, you find out that it's not the same. So I've added everything that I need to add at that very part that I said you should add a fresh pattern paper and through it. So I have gone ahead to do that. If you've not seen me doing this type of thing, please drop a comment. You've not seen how I added that brown paper to the draped area, drop a comment in the comment section. I'll link you to a video that has that kind of tutorial. It's very detailed, okay? So having done that, that's all for the upper bodies. We head straight to the lower bodies, which is actually simple. So you know where the overlap of this dress, the overlap of this wrap dress started. Oh my God, of this started, okay? So I want the wrap design also of the lower bodies to start at the same place. So that's what I'm trying to measure out to check where it is. And I've gotten where it is, okay? Having done that now, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to impute that wrap design. I want to get that wrap design. So from my that point, I'm drawing this line. I'm extending the line all the way down. Or from your bust about nipple to nipple points, okay? You're taking the line all the way down. So having done this now, I'm going to be checking how much I want my slit to be, how long I want, how much I want my slit to be. At this point, I didn't know I was leaving so much line. I didn't know I was going to be showing so much lap. I don't know, you guys should tell me, is it much from the video at the beginning? Is it much? But for me, I think it's much because I cannot wear that to church. Okay, so that aside, I'm trying to see that I do not leave so much. I'm using a broken line here because it's not my actual line. I'm using a broken line. I'm just trying to check. And when I saw this, I was like, no, 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 this is way too much. So I'm going ahead now to start from that place where the wrap is going to start, okay? The wrap design is going to start. I'm starting from there to draw in the wrap design of the draped side of it. Please, I hope you understand all I'm saying. So I'm trying to check how much I want the opening to be. And I used 5 inches, which is optional. You can use 3. I wouldn't advise you use 3. That 5 is actually much. I will advise you use 3 if you don't want to show much. If you don't want to show much, you just want something that will let you work, please use 3. That 5 is much, okay? It was after sewing it that I found out that 5 is much. So from that very point where it's going to lap, so it aligns with the upper bodies, I'm going to be drawing in this line like so. I'm going to be drawing in this line like so. So I can create that effect, that design. So this is what I was able to get. This is what I was able to get. So the whole of that place is going to be the opening. Okay, the whole of that place is going to be the opening. Okay. And so we'll have to be differentiating the draped side of our lower bodies from the side that it isn't draped. Okay. And I'll also show you, I'm going to be tracing it out. Okay. I'll also go ahead to show you. You want to trace out the whole part that is not going to be draped first before you go ahead with your draping. Okay. So I'm going ahead now to do the draping, which I'll be opening this dart first, like so. I want to make sure that the star line is at the very tip of the dart leg. Is it that leg or where the dart stopped? Sorry. I want to make sure that the star line is at the very tip of where the dart stopped. So that when I open up my dart, when I close my dart, when I open the dart and close it, I can easily open it at that very point. Okay, so there will be no pointed whatever. So I haven't done that now. I'm going ahead to close up the dart, okay? Just watch closely what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to be using my tape to close this dart up like so. And do not worry, once I open up the star line, everything will fall flat because we're using a flat pattern. Everything is going to fall flat. So I'm going ahead now to open up the style lines, okay? As you can see, everything has fallen flat, and I found out that I didn't really close it properly. So I'm going ahead to close it properly right now. So I'm opening up my style lines so we can have the drapes here. Like I said, I didn't want to do much for the drapes. I just want to keep it simple and at the same time nice. So if you want your drapes to be so much, then you're going to be spreading your patterns very much. You're going to be spreading your patterns so much, okay? You're going to be spreading out so much. But I don't want to do much, so I didn't spread that much. I'm just going to be doing little spreads, okay? So I'm going up here to open up these darts. That's just all. We're not causing any drape because that dart fell into the left side, okay? So flipping this over to this side, this is what we're having. This is what it looks like. So I'll go ahead to trace out the whole of the B. The whole of the left, please. I don't know why I'm saying B. The whole of the left side. I'll go ahead to trace it out and also do the drape of the right side. So I'm going to have to do the drape of the right side, and this is what it looks like. And I've removed the whole of the B. I've removed the whole of the B. I traced it out on a fresh pattern paper. So this is the whole of the B. And when you're placing, this is what you should have. This is what it should look like. Okay. So here is that opening. This is what it looks like. Okay. And as you can see, the darts are in line. The darts of the B, of the left and the right are in line. For the part where I'm not doing any drape, I'm just going to be sewing up the darts. They're in line. So this is what we have, as you can see. So we head straight to the back, which is very simple. The back is just the basic, okay? Just remove your dart and you cut in two pieces. Same thing for the lower back bodies. Just remove your waist dart, okay? And you cut in two pieces, okay? And I haven't done that. That is it. So head straight to, I'll show you a bit part of the sewing process. So I'm gonna have to do the drapings for the what is it called? I'm gonna have to do the drapes for the front. As you can see, at this part, sorry, I haven't ironed. I've not really ironed it. The electricity was out. I've not ironed it. So this is what it looks like after I've sewn. As you can see, I used the same fabric to turn up the lining for the blazer effect, okay, for the lapel effect. I'm gonna have to sew, attach both of them together, okay. And for the lower bodies also, I've done the same thing there. I also use the lining to turn them over. I use the black lining and I haven't given it any press at all. So that's the upper area of it, the waist area of it that has the drapes. And that is it for this tutorial, okay. Bye.